climate for doing business improved in Egypt more than in any other country last year, according to global study that review a way company oriented reform across the Middle East. The world's main ranking will look at the business regulation so that the pace of business reforms in Eastern Europe were overtaking East Asia. The climate for doing business improved in Egypt more than in any other country last year, according to global study that review a way of company-oriented reforms across the Middle East. The World Bank's ranking, which look at business regulation, also showed that the pace of business reform in Eastern Europe were overtaking East Asia. The development of easy-to-use statistical software has changed the way of statistics. If intelligent learned students can make information generation a variable, create graphic distribution of variable and select a more statistical analysis on the click of our button. However, even these advancements, students sometimes still find statistics to be an arduous task. The development of easy-to-use statistical software has changed the way statistics is being taught and learned. The student can match information of variables, create graphs of distribution of variables, and select a more statistical analysis on as the click of button. However, even these advancements, students sometimes still find statistics to be an arduous task. In 2005, donor countries agreed on an accord to harmonize their practices. Since then, officials have complained that too little has changed on the ground. Conferences of donors in developing countries still tend to be dominated by a small group of the North European governments, with the US often absent. In 2005, donor countries agreed to an accord to harmonize their practices. Since then, officials have complained that too little has changed on the ground. Conferences of donors in developing countries still tend to be dominated by a small group of the North European governments, with the US often absent. In a Union Republic, the view of government is dependent on the will of society, and the will of society is dependent on the reason of society. In the Federalist 51, for example, James Madison claimed that the external structure of government of the United States may be dependent on the will of society. Dependent on the will of society. In the Union Republic, the will of government is dependent on the will of society, and the will of society is dependent on the reason of the society. In the Federalist 51, for example, James Madison claimed that the extent and the structure of the government of the United States may be dependent on the will of society. Analysts were impressed by improvement in the machine in reporting across all regions, apart from the United Kingdom, and said that this reflected a clear effort to improve profitability across the business. Although the turnaround is still in its early stages, and valuation look through given the challenge of turning around such a large complex business. This is certainly an impressive start. Analysts were impressed by improvement in the machine reporting across all regions, apart from the United Kingdom, and said that this reflected a clear effort to improve profitability across the business. Although the turnaround is still in its early stages, and valuation look forward given the challenge of turning around such a large and complex business, this is certainly an impressive start. When most animals reach adulthood, they stop growing. In contrast, even plants that are thousands of years old continue to grow new needles and new wood, and produce corn and new flowers. Although it's part of the body and remain forever young. The secrets of plant growth are regions of tissue that can produce cells that later develop into specialized tissue, there is region of tissue. Once small animal reach adulthood, they stop growing. In contrast, even plants that are thousands of years old continue to grow new needles, add new wood, and produce corn and new flowers. All small as if parts of their bodies remain forever young. The secret of plant growth are regions of tissue that can produce cells that later develop into the specialized tissues.
Vào nó any dịch vậy. Cho tôi mình bây giờ cái apa kadar